Assalamu alaikum. The topic for today is area and perimeter of a sector. Sector is part of a circle. So first let's see what is a sector. This here is the radius. If you double it, this entire thing highlighting with a different highlighter color, this becomes a diameter. Diameter has two radius in it. Now this one here is the arc, right? This is the arc. That is it. Other parts of a circle are also there, which are chord, etc., but we are not going to talk about chord right now. We are going to talk about the circle. So if you look at this pizza slice, this pizza slice is called a sector. Now if you look at the sector closely, this sector has an angle over here. Can be any angle. We don't know what angle this is. This is radius. This is also radius. And this is the arc length. If we need the area, of course we will need only this area of only this part out of the entire circle, and for perimeter we will need the arc length plus 1 radius plus 1 radius. Okay, so arc length is part of the circumference because arc length is cut out from the entire circumference or perimeter of the circle. As I said that sector will have an angle, let's say this angle is theta. So the perimeter itself or circumference itself is 2 pi r, and this is a portion of the circle. That is why we will say arc length is equals to theta upon 360, means percentage or proportion of 360. Why 360? Because 360 is the angle in the entire circle, and multiply by 2 pi r. Why 2 pi r? Because portion of perimeter or portion of the circumference will be taken as arc length. That is why 2 pi r. This is just the arc length. This is not the perimeter of entire sector. How do we calculate perimeter of the sector? Perimeter of the sector is calculated is theta upon 360 into 2 pi r or arc length plus 2r. Why? Because we have 2 radii in it. And how do we find out area of the sector? Area of the entire circle is pi r square, and we will have some proportion of area in this sector, so theta upon 360 into pi r square. Now for example, if we want to calculate area of a sector, or we want to calculate an arc length. For example, if I want to calculate area and perimeter of this figure, right? This figure is, the length is 9 here and the length is 9 here. We don't know this. If this is 9, of course there will be one other line which will be 9 over here. We can see that this is a quadrant. Why quadrant? You can see that this is the quadrant. Quadrant has an angle which is 90 degree over here, because if you divide the circle in 4 equal parts, each quadrant will have a 90 degree angle. So this is a quadrant and has a 90 degree angle over here. So for perimeter of this figure, we will add 9 plus 9 plus the arc length. So 9 plus 9 plus the arc length theta upon 360 into 2 pi r. This, when we have a quadrant, then this line here is the radius. So radius is 9 in this case. Radius is also 9 in this case. So this is 9 plus 9 plus 90 upon 360 is 4. This 4 and this is 2, sorry 1 and 2, and radius is 9. So we have 18 plus 18 pi. You have to change pi and use a calculator. The answer will be whatever the answer is. After using the calculator, the answer will be in points or something, right? Now for area, what do? For area, we have to find out, we have to first see that we have two figures. One figure is a square over here, and out of this square I am going to take out this much area, means area of the quadrant. If I subtract area of the quadrant from this square, I will get the remaining area, and I am interested in the remaining area which is non-highlighted. So let's see what do. Area of the square is side multiplied by side minus area of the quadrant, means pi r square divided by 4, as quadrant is the fourth part of circle. Or if you write 90 upon 360 into pi r square, this gives you the same result, pi r square upon 4. So 9 multiplied by 9 is 81 minus r square, radius is 9, is again 81. 81 pi upon 4. You use a calculator and you get the answer. This is how you use the arc length formula, and this is how you use the area of sector formula. But is this a sector? Is quadrant a sector? Of course it's a sector. It's a pizza slice with a 90-degree angle in it. Now when do we calculate the perimeter? Do they always tell you that you have to calculate perimeter? No. If they say some paint is to be the boundary wall of garden or somewhere has to be painted, and the garden or the path looks something like this, find out the area or the length which will be painted, not area, the length which will be painted, because boundary is to be painted. Boundary is always on the outside. So whenever we are talking about boundary, we are going to only find out whatever is given in the figure. In this one we have to find out this arc length, add this and add this. This is the boundary. But if it says that mud is to be lined, or a parchment paper or any paper is to be lined inside the figure, and inside the park or inside a piece of land which looks something like this, find the amount of paper or the area that this paper will be covering. So we are going to find out the area inside, right? So you have to figure out and you have to read between the lines what they are actually looking for. Now if you have something like this, for example, you have a compound figure where you have a semicircle. Please excuse this, it has become extremely round, and you have this quadrant attached to it. One quadrant attached to it. What do? Let's have a look. This quadrant is colored. Only the quadrant is colored, and you have to find out show that the area of the entire figure is 54 pi. Entire figure area is 54 pi. This length here is 12 centimeter, right? 12 centimeter. This is the diameter, and one of the straight edges of a quarter of a radius 12. This radius is 12. So for this one, radius will be diameter divided by 2, which is 6, and for this one, radius will be 12. So let's find out area. Area of semicircle plus area of quadrant. So area of semicircle with radius 6 will be pi r square upon 2 because it's half circle, plus pi 12 square upon 4 because this is the quadrant. So this is 36 pi plus 144 pi upon 2 and upon 4. This when you cancel it, it becomes 18. When you cancel it, it becomes 36. So 36 plus 18 is 454 pi, hence proven. If you have to find out area of the shaded region only, then of course you are going to find out only this. Now let's make it a little bit more tricky, and let's say they ask you that a thread is to be pasted on the outline of this shape. Calculate the length of the thread. So length of the thread will of course be perimeter of this shape, which is the outline. We are not going to consider anything which is inside. So first we find out arc length of the semicircle, which is 2 pi r upon 2 because this is half circle, plus arc length, right? So 2 pi r upon 4 because this is 1/4 of the circle's perimeter, plus this line which is 12. So this is 6 pi plus 6 pi plus 12. So this is 12 pi plus 12. The question is, why am I leaving everything in pi? Because right now I'm not using a calculator. If the question asks you to leave the answer in pi, then you can leave it over here. If the question is in paper number 2, then of course you have a calculator in your hand. You can easily put this in the calculator and find the answer. Now the question here is, why am I not using theta here? I am not using theta here because it's evident that this is 90 degree. Also it's evident that this is half the circle, and this is evident that this is quarter of the circle. But if we have a circle which looks something like this, of course the sectors that we make, those sectors, they stem from the radius, okay, because this part and this part both have to be the radius. Suppose this angle here is 105 degree. The remaining angle will be 360 minus 105, and that angle is definitely bigger than 105. The radius, suppose here, is given 5 centimeter. Now this sector is the minor sector because it has the small angle, and this sector here is the major sector because it has the large angle. The arc subtended by in the minor sector is the minor arc, and this one is the major arc. Major arc plus minor arc, when they both are added together, they both become the entire circumference of the circle. Suppose the question says, find the length of find the area of minor sector. So area of minor sector is equals to theta upon 360 into pi r square. If you are wondering that I can't remember when to use pi r square and when to use 2 pi r, of course it is used when you are calculating part of the circumference, which is the arc length. When you are using circumference, you use 2 pi r, and when you're using part of area, then you use pi r square. So theta here is 105 in the minor sector. 105 upon 360 into pi r square is 25, because radius is 5 centimeter. This turns out to be 22.9 centimeter square. Finally an answer without a pi in it. Now second one is find the arc length of major sector. So angle in the major sector is 360 minus 105, which is 255, right? So theta upon 360, as we are calculating arc length, into 2 pi r. This is 255 upon 360 into 2 pi r is 10 pi. Answer will be 22.3 centimeter only, because it's the length, it's not the area. In case you are provided with arc length or area but you are not provided with the angle, what do? Can we use the same formula? Yes, we can. So it says sector of a radius 8 centimeter has an arc length of 16 centimeter. This is 16 centimeter. Arc length is given to you. Find the area of the sector. For area, we need the angle, which is theta. So first we use the formula for arc length. Arc length is equals to theta upon 360 into 2 pi r. Arc length is given to us, which is 16. Theta we don't know, upon 360, and 2 pi r is 16 pi, right? Answer is 360 divided by pi is equals to theta. Here the answer will be 114.591 degrees. Now area of the sector, we will use the same angle, theta upon 360 into pi r square. Angle is 114 plus 591. I'm not even going to change the decimal place, and we will input it straight away in the calculator. Upon 360 by pressing answer button over here, multiply by 64 pi, because radius is 8. The answer here will be exactly 64 centimeters square. Alright, now how is it possible? Of course you can put it in the calculator and check. There are a few questions in which you have two circles within each other, which looks something like this. This is a sector and this is the shaded region. Now what are we required to do? The question says that this is 75 degrees. This entire length is 8 centimeter. This length is 6 centimeter. Now how do we find the area of shaded region? We have the same angle for both the sectors, so let's name them A, B, C, D, E. So we have two sectors. One sector is BAE, which is small, and one sector which is CAD, which is large, right? Sector within the sector. Now what do? Area of large minus area of small, and we get the shaded region. How do we do that? For example, this is the larger one. I cut out, this is the larger one, and I cut out this much part from it. So let's erase it. I cut out this much part from it, and of course this is also the line that I have cut out. I will get the remaining part, which in this case is the shaded region. How do we find out the area? Theta upon 360, theta is same, 75 upon 360, as we are looking for area, multiply by pi r square. For the larger one is 8, pi r square for larger one is 8. For smaller one we have theta upon 360 into pi into r square, which is 36. You calculate it and you get the answer. As for perimeter of the sector, what are we going to do? We are first going to calculate arc length using 6 centimeter as radius. Second, we are going to calculate arc length using 8 centimeter as the radius, and then we will add this and this, which in this case is 2. Why? Because the difference between large radius and small radius is 2. You people can do it on your own. I hope you are able to do it and you have understood this. Moving on, or I am giving you another question like that you can attempt on your own and then post answers in the comment section. So this is another sector which has a sector inside it as well. Remember that whenever you have a sector inside a sector, this length and this length both are going to be the same. So in this case we have angle 111, we have this length equals to 9 centimeter, we have this length equals to 4 centimeter. Now this is a little bit tricky, and the area, this area inside is the shaded region. So I want you to calculate area and perimeter of the shaded region. Once you are done, you can post the answers in the comment section and ask me any question if you have. I will definitely respond to you. Till then, you can practice both these questions. Take care. Allah Hafiz.